Hey guys, welcome to Red 50. Today we are going to be looking at the active exhaust feature available for 2018 and up Mustangs. GTs received this welcome addition starting in 2018 model year, while the Ecoboost got it starting in 2019 model year. If you happen to be looking for a Bullet or any of the Shelbys, then they come standard with this feature. Since my Mustang is equipped with the active exhaust, in this video I will be going over some of the basic features and addressing two of the commonly asked questions. Is it loud enough? And if it's worth the cost. Stick to the end and I will also give my opinion on the upgradability of the active exhaust. So as you can see, it costs almost $900 to get the active exhaust on your Mustang. It comes with 4 different modes: quiet, normal, sport, and track. I've done a video of revving in all 4 different modes with the Corsa Extreme active exhaust I have, so I'll link it up for you to see. Now there's also this cool little feature called quiet start, as Ford likes to call it good neighbor mode. So what this allows you to do is select any time frame you want. So if you start your day early or maybe have night shifts, you can set up the time frame, and every time you start your car, by default it's going to do quiet mode. When you start up the car, you have the option to choose normal or quiet mode. When the car is completely turned off, it's always going to revert to valves being completely open. As soon as you start up the car, you'll see the valves kind of shut partially to go back to normal mode. Let's take a look at it here. Now let's take a look at the quiet start. You can notice an immediate difference between normal and quiet startups. It barely even sounds like a V8 at that point. Now here's a quick comparison between quiet and track mode revs. Now that we have covered some of the basic features of the exhaust and know how the car sounds in quiet and normal startups, let's go over two of the common questions that we discussed earlier in the video. First up, let's see if it's loud enough or no. Loudness is really subjective. So just to give you perspective, I used to own a 2006 Mustang GT with Flowmaster Outlaw axle back on them. That was the only thing done to that car exhaust wise, and I found that car to be pretty loud in a good way. It was never obnoxiously loud like a catalytic car would be. So how does the active exhaust compare? To be honest, I always find myself putting in track mode. Normal mode is really tame. Track mode is decently loud, but mainly in higher RPMs, let's say 4500 and above. So if you're just cruising around or even playing a little, it'll lack what a Mustang should sound like. Now that we've covered the loudness aspect of it, let's talk cost. So it costs $900, and for the feature it offers and the integration within your dash, I think it's an absolute steal. There are a couple companies out there that do it aftermarket, such as Roush, but those options cost well above $2,000 and they won't be integrated into your car like the OEM would be. So if you're someone who wants your Mustang to have that V8 roar while also keeping things quiet in the neighborhood, I think it's a perfect fit for you. Now before you go out there and pull the trigger on the active exhaust, I wanted to go over some of the upgrade paths for the active exhaust if you decided you wanted to upgrade in the future, which I think is the key because as of right now the options are limited and can be costly. So the easiest way and the cheapest way would be to get a Resonator delete, which would be around $100 as you can see from here. This replaces your factory suitcase Resonator. You have the option to go with X-pipe or H-pipe. In terms of increase in volume, you get a decent bit of increase. However, the tone remains the same, and for me, stock exhaust sound, it wasn't anything exciting like an aftermarket offering would be. And once the Resonator is cut, you cannot revert back to stock, so if you ever end up wanting to sell the car in the future, that's something to keep in mind too. Fortunately, there are some aftermarket options that allow you to replace the entire system and carry over your stock motors to retain the active exhaust functionality. However, the selection is very limited and they're very pricey, with the cheapest one being close to $1,500, while most hover around $2,000 range. So I think in order to make a sound decision, I recommend listening to the active exhaust in person, especially in track mode, to make sure that you're completely okay with its loudness, because as you saw, if you decide to upgrade in the future, it can get real pricey. With all that being said, I will leave you guys with some of the Corsa Extreme Active Exhaust clips. Enjoy. Thank you guys for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to Red 50 for more Mustang content. I will leave you guys with two different videos. One is a Corsa Cold Start compilation, and the other is revving in 4 different modes with the Corsa Extreme Active Exhaust. Enjoy.